Hey, what is going on, guys? Over the past few months, I have been sharing with you some new trailers that Trinnov has been dropping pretty much one a month. Right at the beginning of the month, they've been announcing a new free Dolby Atmos trailer that you can download from their website. So not too long ago, probably about a couple weeks ago, they dropped a brand new one called Anomaly. I want to tell you a little bit about that one. I just came out of the theater room from kind of listening to it just as a fresh perspective. I've heard it many times. They actually sent these to me a couple of months ago to listen to all of the ones that are coming up, and they've sponsored this series of videos to let you guys know about it. But it's super dope, man. I really enjoy this one. This one's different, like really different. There's atmospheric music. There's a nice strong beat, a couple of really deep bass drops. I think there's one kind of right in the middle of the song. It'll drop super low, and then at the very end of the video, when they say Trinnov and they have their logo, there's a really big drop right there as well. So that'll get your subwoofers kind of pumping. But during the trailer, one thing I really like is they've taken the creative liberty to really do something unique in the space. You've got these floating ice particles. You've got different elements that seem to defy gravity, so to speak. It's just a fun clip, but it's different than your typical, even some of the previous ones that they've done. But I just like what they've utilized, the Atmos speakers, the surround sound speakers. And so I even stood up on my platform just to kind of get a better idea of like which speakers are being activated. And it's cool how they'll take, certain sound effects, and they'll come from the front right upper, height channel, and then move it to the rear surround or the surround left upper. But it's super cool, man. Like I said, so if you're looking for some free demos to test out, to experience Dolby Atmos in your system. I know a lot of times we complain that movies don't have a ton of Atmos. To me, you shouldn't hear Atmos all the time in a movie. It should enhance the experience that you're getting on screen. If a helicopter were to take off from the front, rise up to the top, and then fly towards the rear, that would make sense. Let's go from your front speakers to your height speakers, to the height rear speakers, and then maybe down to your surround back speakers. And so that would make sense. But if you got three people talking on the screen and they're having a dialogue, well, the Atmos channels aren't going to be engaged typically unless they're throwing some music up there or something like that. But like I said, I'm just grateful that Trinnov is pushing the boundaries. They're going where Dolby kind of has stopped going. We used to get Dolby trailers announced pretty much every year that would come out with a Dolby disc that you could, you couldn't even buy though, unless you got it on eBay. And so Dolby's pretty much, from what I can see, they're no longer making these demo discs. And so Trinnov said, you know what, we're going to make our own. We're not going to take popular movies and cut clips of those. We're going to make some Dolby Atmos trailers and DTX trailers that you can download for free on their website. You're going to need some type of player though. So you're going to need, like in my case, I've got an Arvolution media player. It'll play MKV files. If you've got a product that like an old Oppo, a lot of times the Oppos will play those. I believe the NVIDIA Shield. Yeah, actually the NVIDIA Shield could play that if you've got like Plex set up. So there's a lot of different ways that you can play that. But I've got some previous videos. Just check those out on how to do that. To access the Trinnov trailers, head down to the description or the pinned comment, click on the link, and that'll take you over to the Trinnov website where you can download these directly. A lot of these are in Dolby Atmos, Oro 3D, and DCP, but the brand new ones like Anomaly are currently just in Dolby Atmos. I'm sure eventually they'll have the other formats as well. But as you scroll down, you can see you've got the brand new one, Anomaly. This is kind of some imagery from that. You see a lot of these elements are floating up, but it's just super cool. I love what they've done in this demo here. But you just click on the link here. You're going to need to provide your email address, and once you do that, then you'll have access to a zipped file once you click on that. Unzip that, add it to your Like in my case, I've got a Plex, not a Plex server, I've got a NAS over here on my desk. And so I copy it to those files, go into the theater room, navigate to that file on the server, and then I can play that directly in my theater room. But you can download Anomaly. I believe there's about 14 here on their page. So again, these are ones that Trinnov has physically designed and mastered in-house. Okay, these aren't something that, you know, they're not using movies. They're building and creating their own graphics, their own imagery, their own footage, and doing their own Dolby Atmos and Oro 3D mixes. And so you've got Anomaly. Previously I talked to you about Rings. That one's pretty interesting as well. La Base has a ton of bass in it. I really enjoyed that one. It's just very, very upbeat. Repeaters here. We've got Experience. Down here, there's some music ones. If you love music, these are super, super creative here. They take the just these different components of electronics and utilize those in a very, very interesting way to get those sound effects. So both of those are really cool. Those are truly unique and interesting. I use this one all the time. This one is available in the Kaleidescape store. If you got Kaleidescape, you can just search for Trinnov trailers or just Trinnov, and they should pull up. There's probably about 5 or 6 of them, the older ones that you can download directly into your Kaleidescape system. They're already natively on there. They're working on getting the rest of them added to the Kaleidescape store, so be patient with them. But I use Rows of Rows all the time. It's incredibly peaceful. It's very subtle. It's not over the top. So when I do my Kaleidescape script, when I have guests over for a demo, this is the very first thing that we listen to, because it just utilizes all of the Atmos speakers. It's very smooth. It's kind of a nice intro to Dolby Atmos. And then at the very end, it goes really quiet, and you just hear like them stroking the paddles through the water. And so, like I said, it's just, I love what Trinnov is doing in the space of these demos. Down here, there's some for waveforming, pressurization's got a lot of bass. Some of these older ones are really short. What I like what they've done with the new ones, they're linked, you know, adding quite a bit of length to them. Some of them are even close to 5 minutes versus some of these older ones might have been 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and so forth. So definitely check these out. Like I said, these are super cool, but you can download these free on their website. I'll have a link down in the description or in the pinned comment below. But I just wanted to let you know about this new trailer. I'm super pumped about it. Again, free is awesome, man. When we don't have to pay for stuff as consumers, we know our gear's expensive, our AVRs are expensive, the subwoofers, theater seats, all that stuff. So anytime a company is willing to invest back into the consumer and provide something free for us to enjoy, I think it's super cool. So head over to Trinnov's website. I'll have a link down in the description below. Check out the new Anomaly. Let me know what your thoughts are on it. They've got, I think right now, either 12 or 13 other ones. So feel free to download those as well. Crank it up, enjoy your Dolby Atmos system, and let me know down in the comments what you think. Well, I hope you have an incredible week. God bless, and I will catch you in the next video.